Good afternoon, everybody. I hope I'm audible because my voice itself is pretty strong. That's what the feedback I get from people. It's a great afternoon. Last year, just want to give an experience. Last year, I was coming as an individual person representing the same company. And in 1 year, I think there's a lot of transformation happened as an organization, and especially in logistics. And I'm proud to present one of the paper which we have delivered live, and it's up and running. I'll talk about more, and then we'll take the questions. I have my team. Yeah, I take care of the delivery. Again, supply chain is my DNA. Vivekananda Babu, who takes care of the OTM, and Jyotirmai takes care of GTM, and Aditya takes care of WMS. So we have all the verticals, what is required for logistics solution. What is Trinamix, right? A lot of people don't know or may not be heard. What is Trinamix? What Trinamix fits into the ecosystem of Oracle Platinum partnership? I can say that we called ourselves a planning company. That has been the renowned names that people know. But of late, that has changed. And today, we are not just a planning. I think, of course, the current domain and focus is logistics. But when you see the pillars, right, we cover from end-to-end transformation. And I have 2:30, I think, I hope the time is a little different. We'll come back and present more on what is Trinamix at a later point. But while we go into the logistics, right, I just want to say that we are 100+ practitioners of logistics across the globe. And that's the key point. And again, it's a 1,500 employee, 2009 started company. This is some accolades that we are proud to put it in front of everybody because people doesn't know much, or we want to make sure that they know that what kind of customers, what kind of accolades that we work with customers. And these are the recognitions. And probably one thing that probably we'll say is we just not partnership with Oracle. We also go with innovative solutions. That's the DNA of Trinamix. Having said that, we are all in recognitions, Gartner, and we'll see some slides coming which are actuals. And also, majorly, we started a big push in AI. And the AI is a revolution, but it's no more a myth. It's a practicality. And I just concluded a big demo, and the customer is signing up yesterday in one of the Middle East. So that means it's happening very fast. It is no more. We have to be adaptable, we have to be executable, and we have to deliver, right? That the customer expects that, what AI can do, right? Now, from a Trinamix solutions, one thing that probably is very standout is pre-built solutions. And any customer we go, we don't just do Trinamix as a partnership, we go to customer, understand, and build solutions, bolt-ons. So if you see here, the bolt-ons are very much Fab Connect, which is a flagship product, but I'll go to the important aspect of the paper. Yeah, so this slide resonates. What is Trinamix today, right? It is, if you see on the left-hand side, for me on the left-hand side, number one networking company is our still company, Cisco. We're still operating for the last 5-6 years. Meta is one of the marquee customers. We continue to work on their transformations. Comcast, one of the big media company, and AT&T, and GE is one company that we can say that it has so many verticals that today, I think we have about 8 GE verticals that we're working. Aerospace, everything GE, we are coming, and also their acquisitions. We've been part of their acquisitions, Vernova, I'm sure one of the GE customers probably I would like to connect with them. The next one is onsemi. Again, I was very much part of this project. And in the AI world, onsemi has been recognized one of the partner and very complex solution. And one of the use case that you will see is more towards the fastest food industry. It's a US food industry is the use case. I'll cover that. And I think I met one of the customer Unilever. So I'm sure this is the reason why Unilever is here. It's one of the customers in US we've been working. And there's one more pizza company. But on the right-hand side, these are the recent additions. Why recent additions is we want to go behind the market of every segment, every vertical, and every transformation opportunities. And Johnson & Johnson, now Stryker is one of the medical. Thermo Fisher, I think, I don't know how many people know. It's a big transformation happened, which was with some other, but Trinamix was asked to come in, and we started making a huge transformation of financial domain, end to end. And I'll not go in detail everyone, but the message is on the left-hand side is already existing, and the right-hand side is where we are going and behind these customers who are in their own rankings. Now, let's focus on the logistics, which is the cold forum. So this is where we've been working on logistics customers. Now, when you say logistics, people might understand that, oh, onsemi is already, why logistics, right? I've been part of onsemi project. In the whole transformation from a mainframe to Oracle was a big transformation. 20 years mainframe, moved from on-prem to cloud. Where Trinamix we did was their OTM, WMS, and distributions. Entire thing is moved to cloud, and we're in the process of migrating their manufacturing and costing. So that's why onsemi has got. Now I think Western Digital customer is here. Again, it's partnered with IBM, but we've been working with them. It has got an end-to-end, but OTM is also part of that. GTM, we have Jyotirmai, you can talk about it when you have more questions in our booth. And the most important thing, I will call out one name, which again I'm part of privileged, is Zimvi, which is a big dental company. And it is in US and Europe regions. Palm Gardens is the headquarters. And we just went live, taking the transformation of 20 years of EBS data, moving into cloud, which has GTM is the biggest because they do a lot of international business, right? So GTM has the bigger play, and it's in cloud. Now, we'll spend a little more time on what is this paper, right? Again, why we say this paper is very important is we're talking about automation of implementation of WMS. And again, Trinamix, we always qualify for a new factory setups. And this use case will reflect very much that if you are starting a new factory, I think we are there. Because we have proved we are accolades of customers, and this customer is our forte that today has been 3 years, and we are already doing more and more factory setups. Again, I can't disclose the customer name exclusively, but the solution is real, it's live. It's a food industry, food and beverage, and I'm sure everybody knows if it's in US, the pizza is their day in and day out, their food, right? It manufactures two products. One, they manufacture the dough, which is the product itself they sold, and also a pizza. So that's the industry that we're talking. And it has both branded and branded. I'm sure everybody knows US, Costco, right? That's where this dough was sent to them. So that means it is not end customer, it is go to the wholesalers, right? Then we talk about product development. This customer is not just doing bakes, they're more into bakery, but major these two are items. And why this solution is more marked as a very important aspect of a logistics industry is they need a strong automation because they're optimizing. The optimization is the biggest mantra, right? We can have a X amount of manpower, but expectation is that with this manpower, I want to reduce this manpower with a digital transformation. So that's why this solution fits right there. So when we start, right, what are the challenges? The challenges are, I'm sure we all know, right, digitalization, right, across the warehouse. And I think what we're talking, the scale of operations is 100,000 products every day they manufacture and ship it out with the containers. That's the scale I'm talking, right? That means we should know which part, where is it, and all that, right? And it also includes quality and manufacturing. So this use case is a little unique because it is just not logistics. The customer wanted to have in the logistics process a quality check. So that means it becomes more and more complicated for us, right? And also I'll talk about the material handling equipment integrations because it has got all the varieties of what you make it as a complex solution. Then insufficient end-to-end visibility, obviously, because it's a huge warehouse somewhere in Detroit place. I can call exact not, but it's a Detroit. I know that plant. And what was their current was outdated legacy system, and their parent plant was already operated in A model. But when they want to go to new model, they want to say how I can modernize my plants. The last but not the least in US, one of the things that I've been working for last 20 years in US is FDA. Anything in food and drug has to have a compliance. It's of utmost importance, right? Without that, you will not get approvals, regulations, and all. Now, So, what is advanced automation that solution we did? I'm sure Crown, material handling equipment, I think I set a context, right? It is WMS integration with the material handling integration. It's just not WMS. That means there's a I think you'll see that the logo, right? It's a metal handling is where the integration is made. What are the current challenges, right? We spoke about it, right? Real-time integrations. So it was not possible for a system to know where the movement of parts are happening, how much is going to manufacturing, how much is getting picked up, how much is getting loading truck. Everything is happening at real time was not the case, right? What is the impact? I'm sure everybody knows the put away process. It is where big time is spent, and how efficiently you make it, the time can be reduced. That means you reduce your head counts, right? Then the last is labor cost. Obviously, when you spend more time in US, being US operation, each penny makes a big dollar value, right? The last is throughput operational efficiency. So these are the business impact use cases that was given to us that, you know what, we're going to make this live. What was the outcomes that we planned? I think WMS is pretty strong in its own operations, but it was a challenge of how do you integrate that movement of material with the material handling, moving as it moves, we give the data, right? So and also it makes the truck operations more optimized, because we cannot make the trucks wait outside beyond certain point. There's a lot of penalty clause comes in and demurrage charges. I'm sure we've been working on other clients where I see that cost was always higher. So then the next quality, I think I told, right? WMS was one part of it. The quality control, I think this is the only time, at that time, the integration of WMS with manufacturing was not there from Oracle, right? Now if you see, I'm talking about 4 years back, but now there is, thanks to Oracle team, that it's a transformation of every quarter. I see huge changes coming, because I'm an adapter of EBS to cloud, and today when I started working in 2014 versus today, drastic difference, right? And every 3 months. So this was the challenge where we say that there's no quality control. They want it as part of the picking process. They don't want to pick without going through the quality process as part of the WMS process. That means added advantage, added hierarchy, added process flows. Now let's talk about what is the current challenge, right? They were managing outside. All the quality was outside managed, but now with the WMS, they said, you know what, let's bring that into this portion so that efficiency improves. Real time, we already spoke, FDA, we spoke. Let's talk about the outcomes, what we achieved now. I think let's talk about what we done is, we said we'll do this, but did we do this? This is outcomes. Quality control process is embedded now. So they don't have a separate quality control process. When the truck gets loaded, it goes through the whole process of quality control, then the lot gets moved, then it gets into the truckload with the efficiency. We'll talk about the numbers also. It's important that when you talk about efficiency, numbers important, right? Then operational efficiency, we'll see the numbers of how much of manpower was reduced prior to this initiative, after the initiative, right? And what are the major features that we developed as part of the solution? You know, hold management, right? If a quality control gets into problem, there's always a quality check and a hold. The moment it holds, that batch is not ready to go further. That means it has to be quarantined or it has to go back. In a food industry, quarantine is not an option. It will be scrapped, right? Because it's a food industry. It can't go back on anything. It's a process industry. I'm sure I don't want to go deviate from where my expertise is. The next is interface with quality inspections. They were getting real-time interfaces. How is the inspection happening? What are my parameters? What are my quality plans, right? Then they were wanting to read the analytics. The biggest advantage of digital transformation is real-time analytics. How my product is moving in the shop floor. Sitting here, I can know where the truck is where the truck is getting loaded, where the product is moving, or where it is getting hold, so that there is a corrective measure. And then automatic notifications, that is the biggest thing, right? Because somebody has a quality control, can go and check why it's failing so many times. It could be batch production problem, whatever it could be, right? Then partial disposition. It is not that full batch is getting rejected. It's a part of a batch. That means you have to dismantle that batch out and then move the good parts into the WMS port, right? And audit trail, I think FDA, we all have a regulations to charge. And the last but not the least is hold tagging. If there's a hold, there's a tag, the tag will not move forward. That means this tag is separated out from the main line. So these are the solutions. I'll give a summary in nutshell of significant manpower cost. That's the first and foremost ROI. And this customer is with us, and this customer with this actual data, there is a 2 more plants are setting up, and we are integrated with them and working with them. That means, as I said, right, if it's a new plant, food industry, they say that, okay, Trinamix can come and help, because these are the accolades that the customer is saying. And it's not one customer, we got one, there are 5 customers that we are already doing same solution now. The next is replenishment. Be able to replenish the results with improved productivity. There's always one improvement I always say is order fulfillment, right? We all talk about OTIF, right? On time in full, right? Because a lot of customers are measured not just of products delivered. How much I ordered, how much I delivered on time with full quantity. So OTIF becomes a bigger aspect. Then inventory visibility was one thing that we achieved because of the tracking mechanism and the tagging and the quality hold process. And the last but not the least is order fulfillment. End of the day, the cash flow has to come into picture. So what we started was, they had 200 people to manage this entire thing. It is, I would say, 80% automation today. It's become 15 people at the end of this project. And today, 15 people as the workforce, we're just doing on automation ability. And what is there, I think I talked about earlier, right? There's a huge everyday manufacturing happens. It's 100,000 batches of production goes into trucks every day. That's the volume we're talking. And what was the annual turnover? It's a 150 million to 250 million. And this industry is one of the most complex industry, food industry, but efficiency was big question, right? And this is the benefits we see. With that, I have a team where I can take questions now, or I have a booth. It's P2. We can come and meet us. I'll be more than happy and give you more updates, some more insights.